I've gathered the best tips for playing against killer from the best players in the Dead by Daylight scene. We're talking about dedicated players with thousands of hours, content creators, comp players, and even world record holders. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the 3 best counters for every killer. Trapper. At the very start of the match, watch for which direction the trapper is coming from. That's usually where he's already set up his trap network, so you can predict the danger zones early. Once you locate the basement, treat it like a no-go zone. Trapper's not the strongest killer, but if he hooks someone in the basement, it's almost impossible to get out safely. That situation can snowball the game fast. Be aware of fake trap placements. Setting a trap takes a certain amount of time. If it looks like he's doing it too quickly, or if you don't have line of sight and it sounds like it's being done too quickly, he's probably faking it. This is a common tactic used to zone you away from a loop or a vault he doesn't want to play at. My next tip for you guys is to make sure you guys are using Eldorado, today's sponsor. Eldorado offers a large catalog of virtual goods, including game top-ups, currencies, in-game items, accounts, and boostings. The platform supports over 200 different games, so what you're looking for is more than likely there. Here's where you can trade without fear, and Eldorado guarantees that all their trades are legit and safe. To ensure this, they have 24/7 live support, as well as a money-back guarantee to ensure that all of your orders go smoothly. To find exactly what you're looking for, simply find the game that you want to play, and once you're there, take a look at all of the different vast offerings that they have when it comes down to items, accounts, boosting, gift cards, currencies, etc. Once you've found exactly what you're looking for, head on over to the checkout. Make sure you're putting in code THEKING to get yourself an exclusive discount today. So once again, a big thank you to Eldorado for sponsoring today's video. You'll definitely be hearing from them again. Make sure you're checking them out with the link in the description. Now let's carry on to some more tips for you guys. The next killer on the list is the Wraith. When Wraith approaches a pallet, bait him into uncloaking early. Survivors who do this waste his time because he commits to the animation without getting reward. If he's cloaked and you're looping, vault pallets repeatedly. This prevents him from breaking it and forces him into awkward situations where he can't really do anything. It might seem silly, but it buys your team some time. Try to avoid being body blocked at windows and type loops. Wraith can cut you off more effectively with certain add-ons, like movement speed while cloaked, but if he's running base kit only, just keep distance and you'll usually be fine. The Hillbilly. Holding W can work, but only if you break line of sight and gain space. If you run in the open, he can curve into you. Breaking line of sight forces him to back rev, which is easier to react to. Surprisingly, pallet greeting is effective against Billy. Many Billy players get baited into chasing survivors who refuse to drop a pallet, and it can waste a lot of their time. But if you see he's not going for curves, drop pallets early, otherwise you'll get caught. Mix up your papping. Don't always run straight for the next window or pallet. Hide in corners when line of sight is broken. Slow down your movement, or stop running to mess with his ability to read scratch marks. The best survivors force Billy players to guess. The Nurse. Make sure you're trying to run the edge map as much as possible. This really messes with the Nurse's ability to blink and can buy you some extra time and distance. Never fight a Nurse near a strong 3-gen or a hook with gens nearby. She's extremely good at holding both objectives at once, and if you give her that setup, it's nearly impossible to come back. Always pull her away from the key areas. Try to force her to use 2 blinks. Even if you get hit and she uses 2 blinks, she enters a longer cooldown, which can help you create even more distance. Especially if she misses, this is your best chance of survival. The Shape. Always keep an eye on your surroundings so you can spot when Myers is stalking you. Even if you see him standing still and staring, break line of sight immediately. If you notice that you're the obsession, be extra mindful and careful. Myers often focuses on the obsession more than anyone else, so use your walls and type loops to deny line of sight. Myers now has a lunge similar to the pig's ambush. You can counter this by turning sharply or cutting corners while running. Sudden movement makes it harder for him to connect those long-range swings. The Hag. Remember that hag traps don't trigger if you crouch. Crouch walking over them lets you completely ignore the trap. When you're right on top of it, you'll see a white prompt, hold it to clear the trap, and open up the area again. Hag is slower than the average killer, so use her small speed to your advantage. If you hear her terror radius, plan your escape early. It means that she's closer than you think. But with her being slower, you can get a good head start, which often makes it easier for you to get to safer places. Don't stand still mid-chase. If you see the Hag setting up a trap while you're in the middle of a chase, don't just wait there and continuously loop. Try to leave that area immediately. That way you don't get caught by a trap and play into a bad 50-50. The Doctor. Calm Spirit is obviously the worst nightmare for the Doctor. However, this one is very situational because you'd have to bring a perk in anticipation of seeing one of the 40 killers who already has a pretty low pick rate. Pre-drop pallets as soon as he closes the distance. The earlier you throw the pallet, the more distance you'll buy, since it'll take him time to catch up and him trying to shock you at the pallet. Try to chain your loops together as best as possible, and don't be as predictable. Remember, every time he's shocked, he's slowed by 0.92 meters per second. Use that slowdown to reach another pallet, loop, or window. If a teammate is stuck at a tile, don't be afraid to tank a hit. Trading health for time against Doctor is 100% worth it, since he doesn't really have true lethality. The Huntress. Learn how her hatchets interact with survivor hitboxes. Your hitbox lags behind your model and is pill-shaped, so hatchets can clip you even if you think you're safe. Huntress is obviously a slower killer, moving at 4.4 meters per second. This is where you can abuse type loops like God Rocks, hug loops closely, and vacuum stunner if she winds up too close to the pallet. Against a Huntress who's trying to zone you with a hatchet, don't let them do this. Use line of sight blockers like trees, rocks, and buildings to get to the next tile. While holding a hatchet, remember she's slower, so use this time to make some distance and don't get stuck in a dead zone. The Cannibal. Windows are truly the best counter for Bubba. Chain your loops together with the windows, and you can even greed the pallets if you know there's a window close by, because it's almost a get out of jail free card. Spread out. You don't want to cluster with a team and risk multiple downs against Bubba. If you spread, Bubba just becomes a weaker hillbilly with no mobility. Never, ever, ever unhook in front of Bubba. This one should be obvious, but it's a common mistake that survivors make. Only unhook when he's far away or in mid-chase or carrying someone. Freddy. Make sure you're always using an alarm clock. Alarm clocks give you 30 seconds invulnerability window where all of Freddy's sleep abilities are completely ineffective. Make a habit of remembering which pallets have already been dropped around the map. This will completely minimize the impact of Freddy's dream pallets. When possible, drop pallets when you're outside of chase. This way, he has to reset his dream pallets. The Pig. At loops, don't just play normally. Take control of the pallet. If she's trying to dash around from the side, use the pallet to stun her and don't let her get that easy dash. Whenever you're working on a generator, keep your eyes out for the stealth grabs. Just like Myers, Pig can sneak up on you very easily, so always plan a good escape route. Remember that all 4 reverse bear traps combined take 12 total searches to remove, split randomly across the helmets. If you pay attention to how long it takes, you can estimate how long yours might last, especially if you're on comms with your Swift. The Clown. Pre-run when you see him coming. If you take off early, he wastes bottles just to catch up, burning 1 to 2 before the chase even starts. Pre-drop pallets when he's close in. Combine this with pre-running so you can rotate to another strong jungle gym more safely. Whenever you see the Clown reloading, this is your opportunity to run. I know, all 3 of these tips are based around running, but these are all time wasters for the Clown, giving you tons of distance. If he misplaces a yellow bottle as well, run through it for that extra speed boost. The Spirit. Think of the Spirit the same way you do as Oni. Your main goal is to deny that first hit. If you're injured, crouching helps reduce your sound profile and makes you harder for her to track while facing. If your timing is near perfect, you can actually stun her with the pallet right when she comes out of her phase, but this will take a little bit of practice. A little bit similar, but when she starts phasing, try to mind game her by dropping the pallet on the same side that you're running. This can trick her into thinking that you went the other way and forces her to waste some time. The Legion. 99% your mend. Don't fully mend while Legion is still in feral frenzy. Wait until the terror radius drops, or they're out of reach. Or you can end up risking being a 5th easy hit. Use lockers to dodge a frenzy hit. Time your jump so that the Legion swings just as you're entering. This way you can kick them out of their power, make sure they're not getting a hit on you. If you do end up getting hit with Feral Frenzy, remember that you can body block to force some 1v1s. A second Frenzy hit on you ends their power and gives you that speed boost, buying you time for the team. The Plague. An obvious one, but don't group up whatsoever. Remember that the Plague's power can snowball and then she can stack some easy infections on everybody. If you have to cleanse, use distant fountains away from generators. Make her waste time traveling just to get the corrupt. That way, that lost time can be more time for your team to work on the objective. Keep in mind, while you are infected, she cannot read your camera movements. So if you're looking behind you, she doesn't actually know this. Use this to react to her mind games and dodge some shots. The Ghostface.
What's up, kings and queens? It's Spooky Loops, and I'll be taking over the Ghostface section of this video. Ghostface is a stealth killer, meaning his biggest strength is the element of surprise. When working on a generator, it's a good idea to become familiar with your surroundings so you have an escape route ready when he comes your way. And pay attention to sound. When Ghostface is in power, he emits no tear radius. However, his outfit does make a leather whooshing sound when he's close by. So keep your eyes and ears open and good luck out there.
The Demogorgon. When facing the Demogorgon, avoid sealing portals that are in dead zones. Areas without generators or important objectives can stay there for the rest of the game, since the Demogorgon can't reuse it. Try to avoid running in straight lines, since that makes it very easy for him to line up a nice shred attack. Instead, weave around objects, cut corners, and use terrain to break his vision. Don't get zoned by his mount when he's preparing for a shred. If he's charging it up and you're trapped in a line of sight, break it as fast as possible and don't get yourself forced into a bad zoning spot. The Oni. Deny the Oni his power as long as possible and play things safe. If you have to heal, try to heal far away or in a corner. That way the Oni can't just walk by and get his power immediately. Have a plan when you hear his power pop. Know your next tile, consider hiding in lockers, and make him waste time searching for you. The Deathslinger. Use tall loops and loops with obstacles whenever you're taking that shot. It makes it incredibly difficult for the Deathslinger to land a good hit on you, and tall loops completely cancel out his power because he can't see you. Don't be afraid to take a hit whatsoever. Remember that when the Deathslinger aims, he moves slower. When he reels you in, he moves slower. When you take a hit, you get a speed boost, and if he reloads immediately, that's even more time for you to run away. Make sure you're always struggling if you get spared. Actively fight it, and use the terrain or even teammates to obstruct this, which forces the chain to break even quicker and gives you a bigger escape window. The Executioner. Make sure you're holding W on a miss. If he whiffs his M2, use that mini time in order to run away and reach another tile. Never, ever, ever uncage in front of him like what I'm doing in this video. He can easily double hit you while holding his power, so only uncage when he's far or he's distracted. The classic one, but remember you can crouch through the torment itself. When you crouch, it avoids you being infected. I know in the gameplay you can't actually see it, and in the other set that you're seeing I'm already infected, but trust me, it works. The Blight. A little bit more tricky to do, but try to identify his add-ons and his patterns. Watch his rush count, his speed, his turning rate, and you can slowly pick up on what add-ons he's using, which can give you a little bit more of an advantage. The best thing to do against a Blight is to run around tight objects, corners, scan for where he's likely going to bounce, and mix up your movements to deny these clean hits that he can get on you. If you are extremely desperate, you can use elevation. Crouch near the base of the stairs or inclines to trip him up, and less experienced Blight might fall for some of these. The Twins. Crouch near Victor to completely remove the heartbeat killer instinct radius, that way you can sneak by. Lockers can be your best friends. If you're being chased by Victor and you know Charlotte isn't nearby, hop on in to force Victor to open the locker. If you are healthy and you see that a teammate is being chased by Victor nearby, you can always body block to get Victor to latch onto you, that way he can't down that survivor and then go after you. The Trickster. You can use lockers during the main event. If you hop into a locker while you're healthy, you waste his entire burst of knives, forcing him to cancel his power or throw all the knives at the locker. Then you can just jump out, which just forces him to M1 or even giving you some more distance. A little bit of an obvious one, but do not group up against a Trickster. He can obviously use his power to hit multiple people, so never group up whatsoever, never unhook when he's around, just stay far away from your teammates. You can fake holding W and then reverse to get a pallet stun. This can buy you some extra time and refresh the laceration, giving you some great distance and helping you out in chase. The Nemesis. Make sure you're keeping an eye out for the whip drags. If you notice that Nemesis is doing this, make sure you're flaring as much as you can around these corners. That way, the whip drag can't actually hit you. Don't always dodge in the same direction against the whip. Be as unpredictable as possible so Nemesis can't read you like a book. There is a big vaccine economy. Only try to use one per survivor, and ideally when he hits tier 3. Don't hog them. Remember, vaccines are a team resource and you're gonna need them later on in the trial. The Cenobite. Break line of sight. Obviously easier said than done, but remember, don't give him easy chains. Move unpredictably, double back, strafe, and avoid straight lines. Treat the box like a 6 generator. Don't assume someone else is going to solve it. Manage the 90-second timer smartly and commit to it when it's safe. If you ever have to solve the box yourself, plan ahead. Know Pinhead's position and have a loop ready for when he teleports. Buy as much time as possible if he finds you with the box. The Artist. If you get targeted by a bird from far away, start rappelling while running in a straight line for about 4 seconds, or 2.5 without velvet fabric. Then take a sharp 180 turn. Since her aura vision lingers after you start rappelling, she'll often try to predict your path, but with that quick turn, she won't know where you went. Lockers instantly remove crows and are a huge counter. The best time to cleanse it is when she's not nearby. Artist dominates when she zones survivors into corner tiles and blocks pallets with crows, so don't let yourself get funneled into dead ends. Stick near the center of the map or areas with elevation, like Orban's Main. Switch up your papping and your looping, and mix it in with some elevation changes. The Onryō. In the first 30 seconds of the match, focus on finding a television that's about to power on and you can grab a tape very early. While working on generators, look out for white colored TVs nearby. If your condemn meter is pretty low, you can interact with these TVs and turn them off. Even if you're about to go down and risk being moried because you're fully condemned, you can still start the tape animation. The animation is actually so fast that the Onryō can't actually get you down before you put the tape in. The Dredge. The best way to deal with the Dredge is to keep your distance from his remnant. Try to pre-run whenever you can and use any openings to rotate to a different tile before he can teleport and mind game you. Never lock stacked lockers. These are the ones that are placed right next to each other. The game actually prioritizes lockers in a specific order. A locker with a survivor inside first, then a locked one, and then finally an open one. Using that knowledge can help you control which lockers are safer to interact with. During Nightfall, make sure you stay at least 16 meters away from lockers, because if you're too close, you're putting yourself at risk of the Dredge teleporting and getting you. The Mastermind. Pay attention to how many bounds he's used, so this way you can time your flares and counterplay better. Whenever you are flaring, try to do it as unpredictable as possible. Shift your direction at long walls or shack corners, forcing him to misread, which gives you distance. Remember to heal before disinfecting. Disinfecting pings your location, so make sure you're resetting your health first, then disinfect safely away from the hook or tunnel zones. The Night. When you're being chased, remember that any active guard will instantly despawn if you get an unhook. If a guard is chasing you, try to tap a vault or a drop pallet while running. You'll see a little glowing green indication to let you know that you did it right. This will force the guard to stop and interact with the object before continuing after you, buying you some valuable time to get the flag. If you ever find yourself trapped between the knight and the guards, it's always better to take a hit from the knight himself rather than the guards. The Skull Merchant. Drone beams can't detect you if you stand still, crouch, or fast vault a window or pallet. Prioritize doing these if you're near a drone. Remember, you don't need to disable a drone unless you have to. if you do end up disabling one, the Skull Merchant sees the aura in white, which tells her where you are, so just leave it alone. If you already have 2 lock-on stacks and you see that you're going to a drone in chase, crouch walk into it. That way it forces the M1, which is much safer than being hindered or instantly getting 2-tapped. The Singularity. Against the Singularity, save your EMPs for key moments. If a teammate is being chased and is infected, use the EMP to remove the infection and give them a fighting chance. If a survivor has been slugged and is infected, always remove the infection before picking them up, otherwise you'll both be vulnerable. When you're infected, make sure you stay away from all survivors completely until you clean yourself off of that infection. Otherwise, you risk spreading it across the team. The Xenomorph. Place flame turrets in strong, high area spots. One turret forces Xeno to either lose his power or waste 3 to 4 seconds before breaking it. Use them in high traffic areas at all times. Don't forget, you can double up on the turrets. 2 turrets together will always break away the Xeno's power, since they won't be able to destroy them fast enough. You can abuse the tail's short range. Remember, it only reaches 4.8 meters, which is shorter than Nemesis's whip. Step just outside of the range at low loops to force a whiff, which puts him on a cooldown and slows his chase. The Good Guy. When you're playing against Chucky, the most important thing that you can do is split up from your teammates. Chucky is extremely strong in chase, but his ability to pressure the entire map is limited. By spreading out, you force him to commit to individual chases. Always listen closely for Chucky's footsteps and his little footfalls. You can also listen to the directional audio cue of his laughs. If you're working on a highly progressed generator and you notice Chucky going into hidey-ho mode, immediately step away. The generator sound can sometimes mask his directional audio, making it harder to pinpoint where he's at. The Unknown. Always dispel the hallucinations. This is the only way that the Unknown has good mobility, and it's very easy to remove them. Remember, if one of the hallucinations are slumped over, it means that his teleport is on cooldown. This is the best time to clear them as well. Clear your weaken by staring at him. Looking at him removes the effect in 10 seconds with a 1.25 second buffer if you glance away. Use this time to manage both your awareness and the weaken's timer. The Lich. If you're going against the Mage Hand, make sure you're pre-dropping the pallets, then body blocking them when he tries to lift with Mage Hand for a free stun. If you notice that Vecna is going to fly, going through windows or pallets, you can just go right back over them. He loses his collision, giving you some safe distance. Finally, with the skeleton, simply crouch to avoid them. The Dark Lord. Keep in mind that wolf form has a 20-second cooldown before he can use it again. However, this is shortened by collecting scent orbs that survivors drop every 5 seconds. With this in mind, mentally count to 10 after he misses or attacks. This timing will give you a good estimate on when he'll bounce again. When you see Dracula pull out his Hellfire, your best move is to immediately hold W and make your way to the next loop. Hellfire is a good zoning tool, but it also drops him to 3.8 meters per second, giving you plenty of time to get into safety. While he's in Wolf Warp, it's really ideal to try to get his second bounce to go into objects, sending him into a longer cooldown. The Houndmaster. When you're camping a pallet against the Houndmaster, wait until you actually get grabbed before dropping it to stun Snug. If you throw it too early, you risk mistiming the stun and getting grabbed before the pallet goes down, giving her both a free hit and a used resource. Whenever Snug is being redirected, try to break line of sight as much as possible. Wait until you hear his bark when he's either fired or cancelled. That sound cue will tell you it's safe to move again without risking detection. You can also tell whether she's about to use chase or search by listening carefully. A single long whistle means she's sending Snug out for chase, while 2 quick whistles indicate that she's going to be using search instead. The Ghoul. When you're up against Kaneki, pay close attention to how many leaps he's used. If he performs 1 leap and cancels it, he has a 4-second cooldown. If he uses multiple leaps, the cooldown is extended to 8 seconds. This is your window to gain distance. If he's used multiple leaps, try camping a vault. At that point, if you're not marked, Kaneki will usually be forced to bite you, and you can use that animation time to escape. One of the most important things that you can do is not playing for distance against Kaneki. He can easily catch up in long loops and punish anyone holding W for too long. Stick to short, type loops where you can react and counter him quickly. The Animatronic. When playing against Springtrap, use the security doors when he's busy. For example, if he's chasing someone else, picking up a survivor, or far away from your location. That's the safest time to use him. Even when he's undetectable, Springtrap's mechanical footsteps are still very loud. Use the sound cues to track him to know where he's coming from. Keep an eye on the doors. If you see it flickering, it means that Springtrap's coming out of that door, so make sure to get some distance. The Krasue. When you're infected by the Krasue, eat mushrooms as soon as you can when you're not in chase. Doing so will help deny her from getting those crazy lunges in head form. If she is in head form and you aren't infected, you can always try to body block for a teammate that is infected. This way, if she hits you, you won't actually get injured and you'll buy your teammates some valuable time. Never waste time eating fungus mid-chase. It takes about 20 seconds to remove a single infection level, meaning 40 seconds to cleanse completely, and you won't last that long in chase against her because she is quite strong. Instead, save the fungus for when you're safe, off the hook, or a teammate who's currently not in chase. And that's how you handled every single one of these killers and stay alive out there in the fog. If these tips help, make sure you drop a like, share it around, and let me know which killer gives you the most trouble. Be sure to show some love to all the content creators that spend their valuable time helping me make this video as well. Once again, a big shout out to today's sponsor, Eldorado. Check them out using the link below and show them some love for supporting the channel. Don't forget to follow me on all my social medias and make sure you're catching my live streams over on twitch.tv/theking. We got a ton of crazy stuff coming up, and I'll be going to TwitchCon, so if you're pulling up, come say what's up. And lastly, the Discord is open again, so if you want to hang out with the royal family, talk DBD, or just vibe, invite link is down below. As always, I'm the King. I tip my crown to you guys, and we'll see you in the fog.